Star Wars. We are a Star War. We are a Star War. Isn't that cool?
Hello there. My name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
Well, my name is also Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is not Corey. It's Jim, and I am a Star War.
And
And
we
we
Are a Star War.
today we're going to start talking about the newest Disney Plus series, Andor. They say Andor. Sometimes they say Andor. Or am I wrong?
I think it's Andor.
But the last dude that he just met,
Oh, Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, he was-
Everything he says is Andor.
Andor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corey Martin is off mic again.
He said Andor.
If Stellan Skarsgård is Corey, Corey Martin, you're off at mic. No, why did he go Irish? He's not Irish.
You kind of sounded like him, though.
I got Andor. I got that down.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I liked it.
I liked it.
So we're talking about episodes 1 through 3. And full disclosure, we've discussed this before we started recording. And we were all probably a little bit intoxicated when we watched episodes 1 and 2.
No.
Were we a lot intoxicated?
Yes.
When we watched episodes 1 and 2. So some of that may blur together, but I was stone cold sober last night. I watched episode 3 finally. So some of this may all run together. Then listen, if you want cold hard facts about the Star Wars, you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Remember, this is three buttholes talking about Star Wars.
It's just three buttholes talking about Star Wars.
We're just trying to have a good time, and we want y'all to have a good time. So, I mean, let's get into it. So far, I'm going to say episodes 1 and 2 were a slow burn for me. I enjoyed them. I liked them a lot. I liked that it was getting away from the pew, 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 and the pew, pew. But there was good, like, what it reminded me of was, like, Captain America Winter Soldier. Like, it was a good-ass, just, like, spy, espionage kind of shit happening, right?
Right.
Leading up to some shit popping off. Does that seem accurate?
Yes. I want to kind of back up a little bit. Going into the show before you even watched it, like, what did we expect?
Because I think
from the show?
I think that's worth chatting about just for a second because
Before we dive in.
Yeah.
Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars
Because
movies.
I rewatched Rogue One last night too. Before I rewatched these three, I
I
drank.
already have two people that want to jump on our episode about when we do get to Rogue One. Two people have already been like, "Yo, I got to get in on Rogue
Because
One."
it's the best.
One of the
It's
best.
so
it's
good.
one of the best. I mean, it's got its issues, but they're not story issues. I'm not a fan of the CGI deep fake Leia in the end, but that's okay. I still loved the movie, and the tone of that movie is incredible. And so my expectations for the series, to be honest with you, until they dropped that last trailer, was, I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. And then when that trailer came out, I was like, oh boy, this looks great. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about it?
No, yeah, I agree. Going back into the Rogue One headspace, which is so different from everything that comes before it and becomes after it, because there's no Jedis, there's no lightsabers. So I expect we'll see the same in the show. We won't see any Jedis. We won't see any lightsabers. We might see some Force-sensitive people, because those were in Rogue One.
Right.
But no Jedis. And then, of the people that were in that, I wonder how many of them we'll get again. And I know that some of them, Saw Gerrera was in the trailer, I think. But, will there be, a Galen Erso connection? That would be cool. I think I kind of spoiled this on accident when I was looking at the cast list yesterday, but I think K2SO is going to be back on.
So the cast, if you're looking on IMDb's got the cast list for both seasons, I think.
Okay.
And so I thought Alan Tudyk was confirmed for the second season.
Oh, okay.
So his name would
His name,
if they
that's
do
what I
have the
saw.
cast list for both seasons, or they started the IMDb for both seasons, then his name would show up in there. But I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah,
what's the name of the little droid that's in this first series?
B. They just call him B. I don't remember.
His name is B2 Emo. Or I'm serious. That's what it says on the closed captioning. It's B2.
Is it listen to My Chemical Romance?
B2 emo, but I think it might be B2MO, like the letters. MO, B2MO.
Going down,
Right. But it's spelled like Patrick Stumpf.
I don't know who that is, but that's
Yes,
funny
you
as shit.
do.
Who is that?
It's the bass player from Fall Out Boy.
Bass player
He
from
wrote
Fall
all
Out
the
Boy
he
is
wrote all the songs.
Pete something.
What did I say?
Patrick Stumpf.
Oh, that's the lead singer of.
Oh.
We've gone off
It's still
target.
Fall Out Boy.
Stay on target.
Anyway,
Stay on target.
Corey's the only one that has notes. I had
I
notes
have
last time,
notes.
and I don't have shit.
While he's reviewing his notes, I just want to add that B2 Limp Bizkit is reminds me of Wally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like his little stutter.
The way
He's
that
got a
he
Wally
can,
vibe to
he
it,
kind of
yeah.
hides inside himself. It's kind
Yeah.
of cute. Yeah.
They just call him B for short, and I
They
dig
call him
that.
B. Yeah.
B wins.
And the big like Cassian moment from Rogue One is when they're deciding if they're gonna fight or not, and he's yelling at Jin, and he's like, "I can't do this just because you all of a sudden decide you want to join the." And he says, "I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old." So now I'm like,
And now we
okay,
know.
now I want to see it. So then in the show, yeah, we'll get into how young we are going to go back in his life. It's kind of hard to tell how young that kid is. But anyway,
He's a
That's
little
what I
older
was-
than 6.
Seems a little older than 6.
Yeah. but also it seems like a bunch of stuff has happened to them already. They've already lost all the adults on
Right,
that planet
right,
somehow
right.
In a mining accident.
or something. But no, because that guy in the third episode, he's like, yeah, what if they hang me in the square? Isn't that what they did to your father?
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
So Cassian's dad was hanging
I
somewhere.
think we'll get
That's
more
true because
flashbacks
that
then, right?
the young kid's storyline has a Lord of the Flies vibe to it.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like
Interesting.
there had to be adults at some point. This is obviously like that ship crashing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess draws attention, and it's probably what does the planet in the end. Like it looks like the Empire is going to come in and do what they do and destroy it and make it inhabitable, like they have done to other planets.
Turn it into a junkyard.
Right?
Maybe put some Waffle Houses.
Yeah.
What?
Imperial Waffle Houses.
Scattered, smothered.
I liked it. The Waffle
Vadered.
House.
Vader.
Vadered. So, episode 1. I have questions because
It's when they're
like,
burnt to a crisp.
Oh no.
God damn it. That's Barood.
I like the Baru special.
Oh no!
So,
Too far. Too far.
Oh really?
Episode 1 then. Corey has 2 lines of notes.
let's read these.
Yes, please.
Let's read these
and
notes
we'll
out
discuss
loud.
The episode.
Well, my first note is encapsulates the first like 15 minutes, and it is whorehouse. We're looking for a girl from Kenari, looking for his sister, like Fox Mulder.
Very
Fox Mulder
Fox
was
be
looking for
his sister.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So he and Bix, this girl, are friends. That's not his sister, correct? Am I wrong?
Right, that's not his sister.
That's not his sister. That's just a friend,
Sister is lost.
right?
Yes.
He
And
was
I
looking
thought,
for his
and
sister.
I thought that the gal, and during the flashback sequence, the girl that looks like she's kind of the leader of the Lord of the Flies group,
Mm-hmm.
kind of jumping forward into episode 3, when I thought she was the sister. Like I mean, and there was nothing about it that told us that she was or wasn't. I just made that assumption, and then when she got killed, I was like, well, I guess she's not the sister.
Yeah, I thought it was the little one that kept following him and calling him Cassie. Casa.
Mm-hmm.
He drank too much.
What does your other note say?
My other note says Warthog pisses on a droid. So
That's episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm just like proud of Disney that they were like, hey, this Rogue One is a little more, rough and tumble here. We're going to go to a whorehouse.
There was a your mom joke in there.
We're going to
Or was
see
that in episode 2?
the stream of urine coming from this animal and hitting this droid,
I thought that was pretty fun.
which we will then try to sell merchandising of.
I kept seeing
gonna be a
things
new
that said
ride.
like I kept seeing things that said like this is the most adult Star Wars yet. And I'm like, okay, was it your mom joke or the pissing warthog? Because
I mean, I don't know about episode 3. I think that's the first time we've ever seen the bedroom where people are actually about to be intimate.
Yeah.
I mean, has there ever? I can't remember a scene in anything from Star Wars where it was somebody was shit faced drunk and then ready to get it on.
Yeah, the closest we've got is Annie and Padme frolicking in the fields of episode 2, which none of us want to revisit.
No,
not yet. So episode 1,
Attack of the Clones is only 45 minutes long.
Episode
when
1,
I watch it.
Episode 1 is just like, hey, here's what's going down. We're gonna reintroduce you to Cassian and set up some other characters that may or may not stick around much longer. Right?
Yeah, they also, kind of in the exact same way that they did it in Rogue One, when you first meet him, he's meeting that spy. The spy gives him the information, and then 2 stormtroopers walk up, and he kills them both, and the guy's like, I can't escape, so he kills him too. Mm-hmm. So you're immediately like, oh, whose side is this guy on? He's kind of bad. Mm-hmm. And so then this one starts off again. It's like he's in a whorehouse, and the 2 guys start bullying him, and he kills one kind of on accident this time, though. And then once he notices he killed him, he does heat and kills the other guy too.
Got to get you too, son.
Yeah. So it's almost like we're seeing, like maybe that was the first person he's ever killed.
I have a feeling it wasn't.
Yeah.
He was really good in that fight.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, he was really good.
And they also do a good job throughout of setting him up with making deals with different people and, hey, I'm going to go to my friend
right.
and this is my alibi.
My favorite beat, I think it was in the second episode, was one buddy is like, hey, where's my investment? And then like there's the giant lizard-looking goon standing behind him, and Cassian's like, really? You're here? Why are you here? I don't know. He just told me to stand here. Told me to stand here. I like that.
Awesome.
We can be dark, heavy, edgy Star Wars, but we still got to have some fun. And I thought that was really well done.
So I'm trying to think of what else happened. Did we really get any hints of anything else in episode 1, or do you want to jump into episode 2?
I think we should probably just talk about all 3 of these together, because that's how you and I remembered them.
Yeah.
But Corey does have an outline here, so
slow down.
What's going on? What's going on in episode 2, Corey?
Episode 2, I wrote down back on Canali, no translations. They don't tell us what the kids are saying the whole time. Kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
You could kind of infer, or is infer the right? You can kind of figure out what they're talking about. But it was a choice because Jamie, my wife, pointed that out. She's like, they're not putting the translations, and they usually do that for the Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting choice. Why do you think that is?
I would guess that maybe it was a way to isolate the children from the audience, like that side of the story. Like we don't. They're controlling what we find out about young Cassian that way. Because really you're going to focus more on the body language and the performances, and the general movements of what the kids were doing seemed fairly straightforward. There's a ship that just crashed on the planet. We're going to suit up and go check it out. Right. And so, but all those nuances in between the looks and that was cool. And they wanted you to look at the kids, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I have a hot take. I think
somebody forgot to do the subtitles.
No, I think that a bunch of kids were hired to be in Star Wars, and then they all got together and they're like, you know what happens to kids who are in Star Wars? We're never going to work again. So then they went to him and they were like, look, you can't use our voices. Because you know what the Star Wars fan base does to children who try to be in Star Wars? It destroys them.
That is true.
So they were like, look, we're going to you just do your wah, 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 wah. And we'll just leave it at that.
Just Charlie Brown that shit.
Yeah.
So the kids just made it up.
So no one is going to be like, that kid, I don't believe. Because you don't even know what they're saying.
The one that was speaking.
Now this is pod racing.
The one that was speaking Goonie Goo Goo?
Yeah. Yeah, no one's doubting that.
Yeah.
They're like, that's the best Goonie Goo Goo I ever heard.
It was pretty badass though when they get all like war paint and shit. I liked it. That was good stuff. It was a little creepy though when he'd be going and start poking people. They start like, "Ooh, is he alive?" With the yellow face or whatever from the gas.
Yeah. So what was up with that?
I don't know, man.
I mean, was that like the species, like the race of the people on the ship?
I thought it was from the gas.
Or was it like, were they jaundiced from whatever happened on the ship? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could be wrong.
I have no opinion. I didn't notice that their faces were yellow.
They were yellow than a motherfucker.
Oh, poor things.
They're from the planet Lemonhead.
Yes.
They're lemonheads.
Yeah, I just thought it was from the gas. That
Makes
they
sense.
died from gas.
I've almost died from
inhalation.
gas. Your gas.
Yeah, I'll be farting, and I don't appreciate it.
All right, so next line from episode 2. Asks homie for an alibi.
That's his homie in the field
Yeah,
who made the your mom joke.
That's right.
who also, I can't understand their job and why they leave their gloves every...
They're
night.
not carving desert tuna, though.
Right.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Well, something with gloves.
There was something with the gloves.
It
and
seems like they're all just like...
the recap that I watched said that there was one clip that showed a bunch of gloves on the wall, and there was one plate where the gloves were missing, and then when you cut to an interior scene inside of Marva and Andor's home, there's a pair of gloves hanging there, and they're like, "Does she have the gloves? Did she used to work there?" And then she was like, "Nah, fuck this. I ain't down with y'all."
Well, didn't they say something to him about like, when are you coming back to work? Or something like that?
Maybe.
Yeah, like, I mean, are they just moving boxes?
I think they're out there pulling stuff off of... They're like scrapping...
Yeah.
So
Stuff.
they're just like sorting. They
Salvaging.
work at the recycling center.
Yeah,
Just
they're like
salvaging
pulling...
So
shit.
they're sorting
yeah.
the recycling. Like this glass, this is number 2
Yeah.
plastic. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
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 That's
You
the
can
ticket.
smell it.
That's the ticket.
And then also Company Man, because I couldn't find his name, and then when I did find it, I didn't understand it. But he tailored his own uniform. The guy who's like the up and coming,
He
I
looked
want to
like
be a
he's
bad
always
guy.
trying to cry.
Yeah. But I loved him.
It's true.
Like, he's so Weasley. I love that guy.
He's a really good character. I mean, the character is an asshole, but he's an interesting. The actor's killing it on that one.
Yeah.
And that whole sequence, and that's the first episode, right? The conversation between him and the and his superior
about the two men
that
found
was
dead.
a really well written sequence, right? I watched it twice, and I'm like, the way they're just parlaying back and forth is really, really impressive. They're telling us everything we need to know, but not doing it just with exposition.
Oh, you're talking about when the superior was trying to get him to cover it up.
Yes,
And it'd be like, no, that shit ain't happened.
right.
He died in a fight. Yeah.
But then the next episode 2 is the one where he's talking to the other dude, the pudgy fella. Pudgy fella is all like, "Yeah, I seen some shit, and this we're gonna fix this shit." And they try to get fired up.
Did you see Chernobyl on HBO?
No, but the recap that I watched on YouTube was like this dude was in Chernobyl.
Because that dude had a big, like, not a very big part, but he had a good part, and he was awesome in that show. So I was like, oh, I love him.
They said there was a couple of people from Chernobyl in this show.
But it also, I think I wrote that down because I was also thinking about how, like, we are even a further step removed from the mainstream Star Wars here, because like
It's a corporate security
because
company.
we're not even fighting the Empire.
Right, and
We're fighting
the little jab
corporation.
about him tailoring his uniform was to make it look more imperial.
Right.
Right, he's playing it being Empire.
Yes. Which is fascinating because like Rogue One didn't have lightsabers. This show isn't going to have like TIE fighters. This is going to be like, I mean, there's spaceships, but there's like none of the stuff.
I got a little ADD real quick. I want to go back to the opening sequence of episode 1 and just comment on how kind of creepy that fucking red light district was. The
people in balloon and bubbles and stuff.
Yeah, that was a little disturbing.
Yeah. How many whorehouses have been in Star Wars?
Best little whorehouse in BYB, Promex or whatever it was called.
What about, wasn't there, I mean, there was one in the Boba Fett show, right? I mean, it was implied that was kind of a Western saloon where there was gambling in the front and you could get your helmet polished in the back. That was their line, not mine.
That is true. That is true. They offered it when you walked in.
Yes.
Fucking in Boba Fett.
Right. But Andor is like, no, we're gonna open up in the red light district in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
With the the carnival show and the see what you can eat as you're walking down the alleyway. I'm like, this is a little creepy. I like it.
So what else you got on 2?
That was all I have on 2, and that also might all be from 1 because I didn't label which parts were 2.
Look, it's been a long.
I got
week.
a little blurry in the middle.
We've all worked.
And this is just episode
hours.
2. So for the 2 of you listening to this, we're still sorting it out.
Yeah,
We'll get better.
So 3,
or maybe not.
Listen, I said from the beginning, if you want tight, fucking serious ass Star Wars, this is not for you.
That's our other podcast.
That's our
Tight,
other,
serious ass Star Wars
yeah, that is available
with KK and J.
on.
His name is spelled with a C.
It is.
Okay, so in episode 3 is where shit really starts popping off, right? It's like you get the sense of action and the sense of danger, and they start weaving the 2 stories together with Marva and Cassian's backstory, and you kind of feel like, okay, he's about to dip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get that feeling, and then Sarsgaard shows up. Luthen shows up, and they're feeling each other out. That scene's tense. There's shit popping off outside. They don't know what's happening, and then Luthen's like, "Yeah, bro, I put some fucking detonators out there. We're going down with a fight if we go down." And so that's when you feel like Andor's like, "Okay, this dude's serious. Maybe I should hook up with him, and we really get to fighting the Empire."
Cassian also really didn't have much of a choice.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
it was
He
either
couldn't stay there.
either go with Bluefin or keep running from Imperial wannabe.
yeah, because whatever Han Solo wannabe hustling stuff he's trying to do, it's obviously not working out. And he's running out of friends that'll give him alibis and stuff.
Right.
And people that'll cover for
Well,
him.
and now that his face is out there, it's out there.
Right.
I mean, he can't. Well, we'll see what they do. But
Can't get a new face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So Luthen is like the switcheroo because we think
you think he's after this box?
he's coming to buy,
but he
stolen
ain't after the
goods.
box.
But he's actually like a Moneyball talent scout
Yeah,
for the
he's
rebellion.
He's after Cassian.
I
Yeah.
do think, though, that Cassian's ability to get the box is what put him on dude's radar in the first place. So, yeah, he doesn't, it's Cassian that he wants and not the whatever that thing was. But the fact that Cassian was able to get it is why he was like, huh, this guy's got some skills. This guy's got potential.
Yeah, for sure. And then that whole scene where the guards start coming after him and the fucking cables start pulling the things up and everything's exploding and dropping all around him.
I think you said that was called popping off.
This is called popping off.
That's when shit popped off.
That was pretty tight. I said tight.
So the dude who plays the Imperial guy, is this him?
The one that looks like he's always trying to cry.
That's him, right?
That's him.
That
All
is him.
So we were on IMDb, ladies and gentlemen.
He looks a lot like Ramsay
So the
from Game of Thrones. That's who he
actor
reminds me of.
is, so this is Kyle Soller, or Soller, not quite sure how you pronounce his last name. Cyril Karn. it's a great name.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
his
the
Star
name.
Wars name?
Yeah, that's the name I couldn't write
That's the
down.
character name, the Cyril Karn. And, he's really well written and really
He looks
well
more like he could be
performed.
named Trevor.
He looks a bit like a Todd, maybe.
Yeah.
Trevor's good, but like his, he basically like before they landed on the planet, like when he's rallying up, not even when he's rallying up troops, because he didn't do that well. Once he convinced that one other guy, to the dude from Chernobyl, to yeah, let's go do this. I think he was like, fuck, I caught the car and I don't know what to do with it now. It really got away from him. And I thought that was interesting because...
He was in over his head for sure.
But he was trying so hard in the previous episode to like, and succeeding at lording over all of the other corporate guys and getting them to...
He tried to give that speech, and that speech was some bullshit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when he was in the room in the second episode and he was telling the one comms guy to like, no, do your job, or I don't care about approving overtime, he was assertive. Right, and then his assertion paid off, and he was able to actually find the face and name of the guy who killed the two employees. Right, but like the idea of going down there and doing something about it scared the shit out of him, and I thought that was awesome.
He reminded me a lot of the guy who's like in charge of the mission in Aliens.
Oh, Burke.
Who's like, they're like, how many missions you done? He's like,
not Burke. Burke was the
19.
corporate guy.
I don't know.
No, it was like 19 simulated.
How many combat drops have you done?
Yeah.
Right. How many drops is this for you? Like, 105. How many combat drops? 2, including this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like young guy in over his head.
Lieutenant.
Yeah. He reminded me of that. I like that character though. Like,
No, he's so far, he's one of the more interesting characters. And he should be. I mean, he's clearly pivotal because he's the one that's, at least within these first 3 episodes, he's the one that's creating, he's the one that's removing options from Cassian's, whatever the hell it is he's trying to do. Right? Like the fact that Cassian is trying to find his sister and Stellan Skarsgård's character is like, nah, come fight the Empire. Those are 2 different things. Right? Those are 2 completely different goals. And one of the things that I was curious about this episode, and I thought about it when you were recapping Rogue One, like, and Cassian's arc in Rogue One goes from being like just ruthless, just whatever it takes to get the job done. And it's within that movie that his arc really manifests, and he's willing to play it straight and sacrifice himself and like, do the thing that needs to be done. What's his arc going to be in this show? Right?
Well, see, that's why
because it starts off him doing the exact same thing. Only
that's why I felt like the first guy was an accident and kind of pushed him into killing the second one. Like I feel like that's the arc, is him going from like, God, I gotta kill people, to all right, I gotta kill people.
Right.
Like,
Because in the movie,
it doesn't bother him.
He's got to not kill Galen Erso, right? Like that was the thing, was like him deciding that I don't want to do this.
Right.
Okay.
So yes.
What else you got on 3?
Not a damn thing, except that Luthen knew that Cassian's dad was executed. So now we got to wonder how
Luthen is ex-Empire or is involved. I mean, he's got the key codes and the secret passes. He's on the inside. He's got to be.
Yeah.
If he's not currently, he was. And really, all right, help me out here. Time-wise, how old is the Empire right here? So how many? I don't know the answer here. Like, just guess. How many years after?
Well, this
Rogue
is
One?
5 years before the episode 1.
Okay.
So episode 1 was 20 years after,
give or take,
Sith.
20 years after Sith. So this is
the Empire's 15 years.
So the Empire's been in business for a decade and a half.
Yeah.
Right. Luthen was doing some heavy duty lifting before there was an Empire.
Right.
Where did he come from? I want to know that.
So what do we have, 10 episodes of this show, or
12 for season 1? Yeah.
Oh damn. So we definitely see Saw Gerrera. Like, do we establish, do we see anybody else? Did you look at all the credits?
I thought Mon Mothma was going to be in this.
Yeah,
also.
I've seen her in
because
she's like a senator or something, right?
Yep.
And she says, if I do this, they don't know what I'm really trying to do.
And have you guys seen the bit about, it was, somebody did like a super frame by frame like dissection of the first trailer or the big trailer, and there's a young woman named like Clea. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Her name is Clea, and she's like, there's whatever line that she says in the trailer. It's in the subtitle in the caption, and it's very Leia-esque in inspiration.
So
it would make sense. And if you remember in
she's a
Rebels,
senator, right?
if you remember in Rebels, no, Leia wouldn't be.
Ambassador.
She's an ambassador,
yeah.
but she was Fulcrum. She was one of the Fulcrum.
That's right.
She was doing it her way, right? She was in the background running things and getting things going. I think we might see a teenage Leia. I think. At least that's what the implication was, and could be completely wrong, but I wouldn't mind it. I mean, that kind of follows in line with what we all loved about the Obi-Wan series. You know, seeing a side of Leia that we never thought we were going to see, but by God, it was great to get it.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see her.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I mean, because this is taking place during the same time as Rebels, right? I mean, this is Solo would also be happening around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
Solo was probably a few years before this because Solo was pretty fucking young.
So Solo was
Because this leads up.
Yeah.
Well, this is obviously a little bit before Rogue One, but Rogue One obviously leads up right to the very moment that A New Hope starts.
right.
So
But this show
Solo's got to
started
age
off-
a little more.
Yeah, this show started off saying this is 5 years BBY.
But what year is Rogue One BBY?
0. It's like you said, it's 2 days before.
Gotcha.
So this is 5 years before Rogue One.
Oh. Okay.
Luke wasn't 20 though in A New Hope.
No, he was 19. What's the question?
He's got to get some shit at the Tashi station.
He was 19.
Yeah.
That's a whiny fucking 19-year-old.
But I was gonna go get some
I thought he was like 17.
Transformers.
Luke was a little bitch in the beginning of that.
Nah.
I mean, he farmed
Don't say
sand.
You know he was.
He ate sand.
He ate sand.
He ate sand.
When there was no fowl to be found, we ate crawdad. And when there was no crawdad, we ate sand.
Yeah.
Y'all crazy. So let's give some final thoughts. And this will be a short episode because we'll probably touch on some of these a little bit more as we recap 4, 5, and 6, because some of that will probably all tie back to what we've seen.
Yeah, because I just saw something looking at the IMDb where I'm like, I kind of wish I hadn't seen that.
I don't be looking at the IMDb. What do y'all think so far? Final thoughts on 1 through 3.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
At first I was like slow burn, and I knew what I was like.
See, I know I talked a lot about the pacing issues on Obi-Wan, but this slow burn worked for me because I thought the writing and the acting was just fantastic.
I thought 3 was fucking great. So when you look at 1 through 3 all together, and now I see why they released them all that way. Because
It's a movie.
If they released 1 as 1, people would have been like, "This is the most boring shit I've ever seen in my life."
They'd say it exactly like that.
Because
by the way.
Star Wars fucking fans are the fucking worst.
The worst.
Nobody hates a Star War more than a Star
More
Wars
than a Star Wars
Oh
fan.
boy.
So, but I thought it was a smart move to do 1 through 3 at the same time, because you would have probably lost some people after episode 2, quite frankly. But I knew, I watched 1 and 2, and then I was okay. Well, I know 3 is gonna be
And I watched 1 on its own,
rocking.
and I was like, hey, this is great. I'm in.
Yeah, and I'm not saying 1 was boring, because you're trying to just establish some shit. But I know how Star Wars fans be.
Yeah, and
They
they
didn't
also haven't shoehorned in any fan service. Like, look,
Right.
there's a Wookiee.
I'm
Like,
for
none of that.
Right.
For that.
Yeah.
Look, I love fan service.
Yeah.
I'm for it. But I like that they're saying, no, I ain't doing that just yet.
I also like the fact that this is produced on real sets and locations.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how limiting working in the volume, how that impacted the way the show was made.
Yeah.
The way the show felt, not the way it was made, the way it felt. Because yes, it's phenomenal technology, and that first season of The Mandalorian, I was just stunning, and it's so cool to be able to see the actors inside the space with the vistas and the landscapes. But there's just something about being on location, and it looks good. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they got to do that. But they're fixing to be off that planet. So what are they doing next? They're going somewhere different, right? At least
they're
Cassian
going to
is.
Costco.
I doubt they'll tell much more of a story on that planet.
Nah. Oh, let's one
Unless
thing
they
that I
go
would
back
like
further
to say.
and say what happened.
I thought the sequence there at the end where what's her face's boyfriend gave up Andor's location. I thought that was incredibly well done and just so human, right? I mean, he's suspicious of his girlfriend. He thinks she's fooling around with Cassian. She is hiding something from him, but she's not she's not cheating on him. And so he's all up in his fifis, just shit-faced drunk, and I'll show him, right? And he calls it in, and then she shows up at the door and wants to be there with him, and is like, it's been a long fucking day, and like, I just want to be with you. And I was like, the look on his face where he's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I thought, and honestly, I was hoping, but I was wrong because I looked it up. I was hoping the actor that plays that character reminded me of the actor who played the dude in the very beginning of Rogue One with the hurt arm that Cassian ends up shooting. And I for like the first episode, I was like, oh, this is that same dude. And like, he's going to end up being roped into it, but clearly that's not the case because he gets killed.
He killed.
Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to that little piece, that little turn, because I was watching it and going, this is great. That's also the first time we've seen the bedroom in a Star Wars.
So
used intimately.
Where do we go from here? What happens in the next episode?
I guess if he's going with Luthen, like, is he going to take him to the rebels? Is it like, all right, now you're...
I don't think so.
I think so either.
I think Luthen he's gonna workshop him. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one-on-one. He's going to develop him as an asset and not
send him on a mission.
Show him the inner
who
workings.
He's working for.
Right. He's going to be super side quests.
Yeah.
We're going to get some B stories, yo.
I enjoy it. I'm excited. 4 is out as we record this. They haven't given us much more to go on. I didn't stay through the whole credits. Did they do a little next week on? They didn't do it next week on, right?
I don't watch the
credits. If they did, I didn't check. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how much of a Star Wars I am.
I like to go in fresh.
So a little housekeeping. How's the logo coming?
Oh, it's great. God, you're going to love it.
It's
you're
great.
Love it.
It's great.
It's great.
It'll definitely be ready really soon.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you guys want to say, or do you want to wrap this shit up?
I'm a Star Wars.
I've checked my account several times since the first episode went live, and I am not rich.
I am a Star Wars.
And I'm a Star Wars.
And we
are a Star Wars.
We are a Star Wars.
We are a Star Wars.
Star Wars. We are a Star Wars. We are a Star Wars.
Isn't that cool?